Yo people, welcome back. Now I wanted to talk about Carmelo Hayes, someone who got promoted from NXT with so much promise, so much potential. He joined the main roster at similar times to other people like Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton and Bron Breakker, and it's crazy to see where the four of them are now compared to when they all arrived from NXT. Tiffany Stratton won Money in the Bank and is now the WWE Women's Champion, about to defend against Charlotte Flair at Wrestlemania 41. Bron Breakker had a memorable debut at the Royal Rumble last year and is a two-time Intercontinental Champion, about to defend his title in a potential triple threat but probably fatal four-way match at WrestleMania 41. Then we have Lyra Valkyria, who has the Women's Intercontinental Championship in a boring reign that no one cares about and is probably going to defend it against Bayley at WrestleMania 41. Then we have Carmelo Hayes. He's done nothing but be forced to decline and lose matches on Friday Night SmackDown until recently, where he's finally getting something fresh. He's going to debut his tag team partnership with The Miz this week in a match that they'll probably win, and then they won't do anything at WrestleMania. I do believe this tag team will be good going forwards, and eventually they'll probably get drafted to Raw, win the tag titles, and in the end Carmelo Hayes will turn heel on The Miz and go solo. I think Carmelo will benefit from being under a heel's wing, especially someone like The Miz, as he establishes himself in the roster. I think Miz is one of those guys that has a lot of experience, he's got a lot of knowledge that he can pass on to Carmelo. So ultimately, if he can use those Miz teachings, the heel tricks and everything, plus his own in-ring talent that he clearly has, alongside his promos, which are also good, then he can easily become one of the company's top heels in the future, pick up solo belts, world titles, all of that stuff. If they do that with his character in the future, then I can kind of forgive what they've done recently with him, but I still believe it's an absolute disgrace that he's not been given something better to do since his main roster appearance, especially seeing how quickly the other three got gifted titles. One problem those three face, however, with winning titles so soon is they could peak very early, and because they're still new to the main roster, a decline is inevitable. It's only natural, you're still new. But you cannot decline at the wrong time, otherwise you'll go to the bottom, slowly be forgotten about, and you were just that one-time or two-time belt winner that did nothing after. I actually think it's a contradiction that 3 NXT graduates are holding belts so early on, while we always get told, but the roster is stacked, there's so much talent. If that was the case, then why don't WWE trust one of their other wrestlers, one of the older guys, someone with more experience, instead of handing out these titles to the newcomers all at the same time? I have no problem if one of them gets it, but 3 people, they just came up in the last year or so and they all have titles. Why can't Finn Balor get the Intercontinental title? Why can't AJ Styles get the belt? Even Sheamus, everyone wants him to win so he can complete the Grand Slam, and nothing. If you can't name more examples, or you think the ones I've given are bad, then it shows the roster isn't stacked. Why can't Bayley win the Intercontinental title? Even someone like Zelina Vega. With Tiffy, I can excuse hers because she cashed in the Money in the Bank, so that's a different scenario. However, having 3 NXT recent graduates holding belts at the same time, it makes their journey not feel as special or unique, and if anything, it makes the belt seem like it's easy to get. Then we have Carmelo Hayes, who went from having a title fight versus Cody Rhodes in his main roster debut to having an amazing in-ring feud with Andrade, which they ended as a draw, with neither Carmelo or Andrade getting a push from this feud, so it was ultimately pointless, to just being a jobber who was getting pinned every other week on SmackDown. In my opinion, out of these 4 wrestlers that I've mentioned, Carmelo is the one with the most talent, whether it's on the mic, in the ring, doing the catchy sayings that the WWE executives love, and in general, just capturing attention of the younger audience. Carmelo is that guy. Him as a heel could easily go down the Eddie Guerrero path. I'm not saying to those levels, but that build of a heel, high flying, creative ending so he can cheat and win, the charisma, there's so much that they have in common. In my opinion, Bron Breakker's being taken down the Brock Lesnar route is obvious to see, and we saw it from the moment he debuted at that Royal Rumble. However, he's not really been given the matches to start building that sort of reputation as this beast incarnate. His Intercontinental title run hasn't been great either. He's not done anything with the title, and I think he loses it at Mania. Personally, I'm happy where things are going for the Intercontinental title in general. But from Bron Breakker's point of view, he would have benefited a lot more if we would have seen him face someone like AJ Styles at WrestleMania and beaten him. It's not really clear what he is. Is he a heel? Is he a face? He's leaning more towards the face. He's got the audience cheering him and they're doing the so I think making him a face, which is what they seem to be doing, they don't seem to know themselves, but it just doesn't help his character. He can defend himself on the mic, which is cool, but his best work is as a heel. Let's move on to Tiffany Stratton, and she is someone that for me has been exposed more and more the longer she's been champion. I also think her best version is as a heel, because she can do that arrogant Barbie type of character. As a face, she can't do the snarky, bitchy attitude, and I think it's far more difficult to be entertaining as a face because you can't do the slick stuff. Promos are a lot harder to cut because you can't do the digs, you can't get people triggered, and a lot of her promos just rely on her saying, Tiffy time, so it gets boring, it's expired. We already hear it on your theme song, you say it every other day. Like, relax with the rinsing. At least she's good in the ring, but for me, she doesn't have that X factor and that complete package that will make her one of the greats. I believe Carmelo does, I believe Ron Breakker does, but she lacks it. She's close, but she just doesn't have it yet, at least. I think she needs to work more on her promos, especially if she's going to be a face, but overall, I just don't like her as much as I used to before she got the belt, when she was a heel. Could we say that she got pushed to the top too soon? I personally think so, and she's struggling with the pressures of being that top female wrestler right now. As for Lyra Valkyrie, it's to the point that I don't care, if I'm being honest. As harsh as that is, I just don't care. I don't care enough to not like her. I don't care enough to care that she's even the Intercontinental Champion. That belt should have been given to someone more established so that they can give it prestige and relevance. Then she could have won it. But she's kind of forgettable as a champion. Even when she's defended the belt versus Raquel Rodriguez recently, she was nothing special. She did nothing to show you why she's great. Raquel actually looked like the better wrestler, so yeah, she just needs to rebrand herself, I think, start again, because I'm seeing current NXT females have a lot more interesting matches and more interesting characters than her, which isn't a good look. I think out of the 4 wrestlers I've mentioned in this video, she's the one that will struggle to stay relevant and to keep succeeding as time goes on, and I think she'll be closer to being a jobber than a world champion by the time she drops that belt. But yeah, overall, I think Carmelo should be getting way more than what he currently has. People will say, oh, well, you know, Triple H has the racism allegations, which, I mean, this video, look at the 3 talents that have a belt and look at Carmelo. I'm not saying he is, but this is why people come up with these narratives and these conspiracies. But hopefully Carmelo can maybe win the tag titles or something, but he needs to start winning soon because there's way too much skill, too much talent to just let go to waste and treat him like he's Jack Swagger or just some random bum that they've promoted. To be getting the respect of someone as legendary as Shawn Michaels show you there's something there. And the fact that Triple H, he didn't even give this guy the HBK approval. He didn't push him just because his friend approved of him. You'd think, oh well, Shawn is saying this guy's really good, I'm gonna push him. But he didn't even do that. So yeah, it's a shame all round, but I think things will turn around. It's just Carmelo will have to be very patient, but I think his opportunities will come in the end. But yeah, as always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Are you a fan of Carmelo Hayes? Do you see a lot of potential for him going forwards? Do you think he'll win any belts? How far do you think he'll go in his career? Who's your favorite current NXT graduate or just current NXT wrestler as well? I'd appreciate if you could leave a like on the video and sub to the channel. Thank you for your time.